Well, Sabbath greetings, everyone. I hope you've had a fantastic week. It's been a great week here in Sussex, but I can't. I really don't mean to complain. But as you know, things are ramping up around here, just in terms of trying to keep everything balanced here as we attempt to buy a home in Arkansas and finish up doing what needs to be done here at this home after being here for almost 10 years, and turns out that it does appear that they have somebody that's very, very interested in the home, but they've wanted to see it several times, and we've had other showings as well, so it's very, very hectic when you get kicked out of your house all the time. So it's not helping things in terms of just trying to keep everything well balanced right now. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's all going to work together for good. As everyone knows, we're getting closer and closer here to Passover. We're less than a week away. It's a week from yesterday. So we are going to be there very soon. I hope all your preparations are going well. We'll be talking a little bit more about that at services in Milwaukee this particular Sabbath. As you all know, we only have, let's see, we've got this Sabbath, and then we'll have the first day of unleavened bread from streaming from Chicago, and then the last day of unleavened bread will be, of course, our last service with the bigger group there in Janesville, and then we'll likely have one more Sabbath in the area, which our plans at this time are more than likely just to stay here and stay here in Milwaukee just one last Sabbath, and then the next week we'll be at some point heading towards Arkansas. We're not sure how all the packing and everything is going to go. We've got it scheduled, but we're hoping we can get out of here a day or two earlier than is presently scheduled. But we'll see how that goes. Appreciate all your prayers, and I know that I owe some people some calls. I'm trying to take care of, certainly any emergencies that may come in. Otherwise, I have been a little bit harder to get a hold of here lately because it's just, I'm not going to lie, it's just been terribly, terribly busy trying to prepare for the holy days and at the same time juggle all these other things. So that's the reason for that. I'm not trying to make excuses. That's just how things are right now. So if I owe you a call, please forgive me. I still love you. I'm praying for you, and I appreciate your prayers for us. I know we're getting closer to the spring holy days, but I'm going to continue because this is a great way to prepare for the holy days, is to go through Proverbs. So I'm already a few minutes into this video, so we're going to go through Proverbs 29, and I'm going to try to go through it fairly quickly here. I'm just randomly doing them right now. Proverbs 29 is one I don't think I've gone through. I couldn't see where I'd done Proverbs 29, so I love this Proverbs. We're going to go through it. He who is often rebuked and hardens his neck will suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. If you've found yourself being corrected more than once for the same thing, and you've, in essence, that means you've hardened your neck. You haven't listened to the rebuke, and so you're being corrected more than once on the same thing. That's not a good situation to get in. You probably need to make some changes. If you've had the same thing come up several times. Those that do that will suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. So again, another proverb, another lesson from the proverb. Always be ready for correction and listen to correction. If there's anything we can learn from this holy day season, is we're all going to be corrected, and we all need to listen and humbly seek that correction and act on that correction. Verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. Pretty simple concept. If you have a righteous man ruling, the people are going to rejoice. That's a lesson of the fall holy days. Finally, when the wicked man is taken out of his place, the groaning will cease. When there's finally righteous rulers in the land, the people will rejoice. Whoever loves wisdom makes his father rejoice, but a companion of harlots wastes his wealth. Those who just frivolously spend their money, certainly on harlotry, but just frivolously spending money with just insane things like, and unrighteous endeavors like harlotry and things like that, wastes his wealth. So whoever loves wisdom makes his father rejoice. So we need to be aware of that in terms of, are we doing things that would bring honor to our parents, or are we just kind of, living that rebellious life? In verse 4, the king establishes the land by justice, but he who receives bribes overthrows it. Now, how often do you think that happens in today's society, in the Western world or otherwise? Those who take bribes, those who do things under the table, it's just absolutely rampant at this time. But the king establishes the land by justice, but he who receives bribes overthrows it. It does. It overthrows the whole society when people are willing to take selfish bribes. It's selfishness. That is not what God wants to see in us as rulers and rulers in training. We have to get rid of that selfishness and willingness to do underhanded things because it benefits us but it hurts other people. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. So, we've all known those that just kind of flatter and flatter, but they're always out to get something. And usually it doesn't end well for us if they're out just to flatter us, and it's not sincere. In verse 6, by transgression an evil man is snared, but the righteous sings and rejoices. You ever seen those people that, just seem like they're always down and always, just can't seem to find a way to sing and rejoice? There's a good possibility, not always, but there's a good possibility there's a transgression there somewhere. By transgression an evil man is snared, but the righteous sings and rejoices. So happiness comes by righteousness, by obeying God. Verse 7, the righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand such knowledge. The wicked don't understand, giving things to other people in need. But the righteous considers the cause of the poor, and they make sure that the poor have the things that they need. But, those that are wicked, they're just selfish. They don't consider what the poor needs. Verse 8, scoffers set a city aflame, but wise men turn away wrath. Turn away wrath. Don't get involved in just, foolish disputes and disputing over foolish things, all that sort of thing. The scoffers set a city aflame. In other words, they're just always causing, fires here and there. And, there's fires here, fires there. Everywhere they go, they're kind of setting fires by their scoffing. In verse 9, if a wise man contends with a foolish man, whether the fool rages or laughs, there is no peace. So a wise man, be careful contending with the foolish, because it usually isn't going to lead anywhere, because the fool, if they rage or laugh, it doesn't make any difference, how they react to the wise man. There's no peace. So just don't get involved in contending with those that are foolish. In verse 10, the bloodthirsty hate the blameless, but the upright seek his well-being. The bloodthirsty hate the blameless. They don't like that, and that's going to become more clear as persecution begins. The bloodthirsty, they don't like the blameless. They don't like those that are just trying to do the right thing. It makes them feel, guilty, or it makes them feel like, somehow we think we're better than they are, when all we're trying to do is live a righteous life. Verse 11, a fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. One of my favorite proverbs, Proverbs 29:11. A fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. It's very, very important not to get into situations where you're always just venting. We've got to try to develop a filtering system on our mouth and our minds, and not just venting our feelings all the time. It's not wise to do that. Some things you just hold back, and you don't vent all your feelings. A wise man learns to hold certain feelings back and contemplate things and meditate on things before they just vent all their feelings. Verse 12, if a ruler pays attention to lies, all his servants become wicked. I'm going to go through these very, very quickly. I'm already at 10 minutes. The king, verse 14, the king who judges the poor with truth, his throne will be established forever. And so again, if we learn how to live righteously now and live in truth, we're going to have a throne that's going to be established forever. There's a principle there. The rod and rebuke give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. We've got to be aware of what our children are doing. You know, if you have children, if you ever had children who've been picked on or bullied, you know, it's very clear at times that a lot of these children just aren't getting any discipline at home. They aren't being taught how to treat other people. And we need to make sure we're teaching our children and rebuking them if they're hurting other people, either verbally or otherwise. We need to make sure we're not raising bullies. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous will see their fall. That's, you know, some of these are pretty self-explanatory. I need to be hurrying up here. I don't want to go too long. Correct your son and he will give you rest. Yes, he will give delight to your soul. Verse 17. So many times in the Proverbs you cannot escape that children need correction. They need discipline. It's something we have a responsibility to do. We don't want to be nitpicking them all the time, but certainly we need to be directing them in how to act. Where there is no vision or no revelation, the people cast off restraint, but happy is he who keeps the law. Verse 20, do you see a man hasty in his words? There's more hope for a fool than for him. Proverbs 29:11 coming around again. Don't be hasty in your words. Don't vent all your feelings, but be careful in what you say. Verse 21. No, let's see. Verse 23. A man's pride will bring him low, but the humble in spirit will retain honor. Honor belongs to the humble. That's who are going to be honored. Verse 25, the fear of man brings a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord shall be safe. Many seek the ruler's favor, but justice for man comes from the Lord. You know, we don't want to get too involved in seeking, you know, the favor of rulers and those in powerful positions, because in the end, you know, justice for man comes from God. Verse 27, an unjust man is an abomination to the righteous, and he who is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. So there's a dichotomy there. An unjust man is the abomination to the righteous. And he who is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. So, you know, it's just interesting to think about and ponder these proverbs as we approach the Passover season here and the days of unleavened bread. I really always look forward to these days very much. I'm not going to lie, it's been an interesting Passover season up to this point. I know for some of you it has been as well. It tends to get, sometimes it can be a little stressful. But I'm praying for you. I appreciate your prayers for me. And we're doing well here, and we're looking forward to Passover, looking forward to the Sabbath first, and then Passover coming up just a few days after that. So I hope your preparations are going well. I look forward to seeing the brethren in Milwaukee. The rest of you, many more of you, we'll see on the first day of Unleavened Bread as we stream around the area. We're certainly going to give that a try. I hope everybody's ready for that. And then many more of you again on the last day of Unleavened Bread. So I love you all. Have a fantastic Sabbath. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Take care.